I used to belong to a small business group that would get together once a month and invite a guest speaker to come give us a presentation on a topic of our choice. This one particular month, we invited a Canadian physician to come talk to us on how mental stress manifested itself physically within our bodies. He was a very memorable individual, a very unique individual in the sense that he took a very different approach than presenters we've had in the past. Instead of just simply standing there in front of the group and telling us what we needed to know, he showed us. He put us through an actual experiment. However, before I get to the experiment, let me tell you a little bit about the group so you can get an idea of the environment in which this test took place. The members of the group had been together for years, if not many months. So we got to know each other very well. Each of us are from different industries, some small business owners, some key members of big businesses. And each of us brought a lot to the table in terms of our own industry experience and own personal experience. And we try to help each other out. Every time we would meet, we would sit in a conference room and we'd arrange the tables in a horseshoe type formation. We'd all sit around the periphery, so we'd all have good views of each other when we talk to each other. And in the middle, we would have a facilitator who would run the whole thing. Back to the story. The physician gets to a point in his presentation where he asks for volunteers. Sure enough, seeing that no one knows what the experiment is, no one puts their hand out. However, I got volunteered. So within 2 minutes of him asking that question, I found myself sitting in a white little plastic chair with a black blood pressure monitor strapped to my left arm, sitting in the middle of that U-shaped formation. The physician then takes my blood pressure and my resting heart rate. I was pleased to know they were really good, aside from perhaps being slightly elevated due to the fact that I didn't know what was about to happen next. He then proceeded to ask the rest of my group to start berating me, to be relatively nasty to me, and for me to be quiet and not to say anything and just weather the storm. So for 1 minute, my peers and my friends, the rest of my group, ripped into me. I tried to remain as stoic as I could, as zen-like as I could, but I knew I was kind of getting a little bit upset because some of the things they were saying was, slightly hurtful, or at least a shot to the ego or the pride, but I couldn't say anything. After the minute was up, the good doctor then strapped the blood pressure monitor back to my arm again and retook my blood pressure. And what do you think had happened? Right, the blood pressure had shot through the roof. That generally only happens if a person moves or is doing exercise, but I hadn't moved an inch. That change in blood pressure was simply a result of the mental stress of everyone berating me manifesting itself physically. So my question is to you, are there situations within your own workplace where you think mental stress could adversely be affecting you or the people that you work with? Furthermore, what is your plan to deal with it?